It was a cold winter night when Tony Mitchell, a junior at Crestwood College, arrived at his assigned dormitory. As he walked through the entrance, he couldn't shake off a feeling of unease. The building, with its aging brick walls and eerie silence, gave off an unsettling vibe. Little did Tony know that his decision to stay in the old college dorm would lead him on a dark and mysterious journey. Tony's room was on the third floor, nestled in a quiet corner of the dormitory. The hallways were dimly lit, casting long shadows that seemed to dance in the flickering light. As Tony approached his room, he noticed an old photograph lying on the floor. Curiosity got the better of him, and he picked it up. The photograph depicted a group of students, smiling and posing in front of the dormitory. Tony recognized the building, but the photo looked decades old. He wondered who these students were and why the photograph was lying abandoned in the hallway. With a sense of foreboding, he decided to investigate. As Tony settled into his room, strange occurrences became a regularity. Unexplained whispers echoed through the walls, and the floorboards creaked in the dead of night. Tony's sleep became plagued by vivid nightmares, leaving him exhausted and on edge during the day. Determined to uncover the truth, he began digging into the history of the dormitory. His research revealed a dark secret that had been buried for years. Decades ago, the dormitory had been the site of a tragic incident. A group of students had mysteriously vanished, leaving behind only unanswered questions and haunting tales. Legends circulated, suggesting that the spirits of those students haunted the very halls Tony now walked. As Tony delved deeper into the mystery, he discovered an old newspaper article hidden away in the college archives. The article described the disappearance of a student named Amelia Reynolds, who had lived in the dormitory years ago. Her story bore a striking resemblance to the rumors and whispers surrounding the dormitory's haunted past. With a renewed sense of purpose, Tony resolved to find out what had happened to Amelia and the other missing students. The more he investigated, the more he felt a connection to them, as if they were reaching out to him from beyond the grave. He couldn't escape the feeling that their spirits were desperate to be heard and their story finally told. As he unraveled the threads of the past, Tony stumbled upon a hidden passage beneath the dormitory. It was a long-forgotten underground tunnel leading to an abandoned part of the campus. The discovery sent chills down his spine, but he knew he had to explore it. In the darkness, he hoped to find the answers he sought. With a flashlight in hand, Tony ventured into the tunnel, the air growing colder with each step. The tunnel seemed to stretch on forever, twisting and turning until he emerged into a hidden chamber. The room was filled with old furniture covered in dust, as if frozen in time. Suddenly, Tony heard a faint voice echoing through the chamber. It was Amelia's voice, pleading for help. He followed the sound, moving deeper into the room until he reached an old wardrobe. With trembling hands, he opened the wardrobe door. And there, hidden inside, he found a stack of letters. The letters were written by Amelia, chronicling her experiences in the dormitory before her disappearance. They spoke of strange occurrences, of whispers in the night, and of a malevolent presence that seemed to lurk within the very walls. The more Tony read, the clearer it became that the spirits of the missing students were trying to protect him from the same fate they had suffered. Overwhelmed by the weight of the revelations, Tony realized that he was the key to unraveling the mystery and finding closure for the lost souls. With the letters in his possession, he vowed to bring their stories to light and bring peace to the dormitory that had been haunted for far too long. But as he prepared to share his findings with the college community, Tony couldn't shake off the lingering feeling that the spirits were still watching, their presence hovering just out of sight. The journey was far from over, and the true horror of the college dormitory was yet to be fully revealed. Armed with the letters and fueled by a sense of justice, Tony embarked on a mission to unveil the truth behind the haunted college dormitory. He shared his discoveries with the college authorities, urging them to acknowledge the existence of the spirits and the tragedy that had befallen the missing students. The revelation sent shockwaves through the campus, and students and faculty alike became captivated by the chilling history of the dormitory. As Tony's efforts gained momentum, a group of paranormal investigators approached him, intrigued by the stories surrounding the dormitory. They offered their expertise and resources to aid in the investigation. Together, they conducted thorough research, interviewed witnesses, and collected evidence to shed light on the haunting. During their investigations, the team uncovered more about the malevolent presence that lurked within the dormitory. They discovered that it was an entity feeding on the fear and despair of the living. Growing stronger with each passing year, the spirits of the missing students had become trapped, unable to move on until the dark presence was banished. Guided by the letters and their intuition, Tony and the investigators ventured deeper into the heart of the haunted dormitory. They performed cleansing rituals, attempting to cleanse the dormitory of its malevolent energy. The spirits seemed to respond, their presence becoming more palpable as the battle between light and darkness raged on. Late one night, as Tony stood in the center of the dormitory, surrounded by his team and the spirits of the missing students, he made a solemn promise. He vowed to confront the malevolent entity head-on, to fight for the souls trapped within the dormitory's walls, and to put an end to the haunting once and for all. In a climactic showdown, Tony faced the malevolent entity, armed with his courage, the knowledge he had gathered, and the unwavering support of the spirits he had come to know and understand. A fierce battle ensued, the dormitory quaking with supernatural energy. It was a battle not just for Tony's survival, but for the release of the spirits who had suffered for far too long. In a final act of bravery, Tony managed to weaken the malevolent entity, its hold on the dormitory loosening. With a burst of light, the entity was banished, dissipating into the ether, leaving behind a sense of peace that had long been absent from the dormitory. As the dust settled, the spirits of the missing students, free at last, faded away, their ethereal forms finding solace and rest. The haunting of the college dormitory had come to an end, thanks to Tony's unwavering determination and the assistance of those who had been lost. In the aftermath of the ordeal, Tony became known as a hero on campus, celebrated for his bravery and dedication. The college dormitory underwent renovations, erasing the remnants of its dark past. It became a symbol of resilience and hope, reminding the students that even in the face of darkness, light and courage prevail. Tony, forever changed by his experiences, went on to become a renowned paranormal investigator, dedicating his life to uncovering and resolving supernatural mysteries. But he would never forget the college dormitory and the souls he had helped set free, a testament to the enduring power of human determination and compassion. Carl was a wide-eyed freshman at Crestwood University, eagerly embarking on his college journey. He had heard whispers and rumors about the old college dormitory on campus, and his curiosity was piqued. Little did he know that his experience in room 213 would be far beyond anything he could have imagined. As Carl settled into his new living space, he couldn't shake off the eerie atmosphere that permeated the dorm. The walls seemed to hold secrets, and the air carried a sense of foreboding. The previous occupants' belongings were left behind, creating an uncanny feeling of intrusion. Nightfall cast long shadows through the hallways, amplifying the mysterious aura of the old dormitory. Strange noises echoed from hidden corners, and whispers seemed to drift through the air, chilling Carl to the bone. But despite the unnerving ambience, he was determined to embrace this new chapter of his life. The first night in room 213 was restless for Carl. Sleep evaded him as he lay in his bed, his eyes darting around the room, searching for the source of the unsettling sensations. An unidentifiable creak here, a distant whisper there. His imagination ran wild, conjuring up images of restless spirits trapped within the walls. Days turned into weeks, and Carl found himself increasingly drawn to the mysteries that surrounded the old college dormitory. The faded photographs on the walls seemed to call out to him, begging him to unravel their stories. He spent hours scouring the university library for any information about the dormitory's past, hoping to uncover the truth hidden within its walls. One evening, as Carl navigated the dimly lit hallway, he noticed a flickering light beneath the door of room 212. Curiosity seized him, and he knocked softly. The door creaked open, revealing a girl with piercing blue eyes and a timid smile. Her name was Claire, and she lived just a few doors down from Carl. Claire, too, had felt the enigmatic presence that shrouded the old dormitory. She had heard the whispers and experienced unexplained phenomena within her own room. The two students quickly bonded over their shared intrigue and fascination with the mysteries of the dorm. Determined to uncover the truth behind the dormitory's haunted reputation, Carl and Claire embarked on a quest for answers. They scoured newspaper archives, campus records, and interviewed alumni who had lived in the dormitory years ago. Each piece of information they gathered hinted at something dark and unsettling lurking within the dorm's history. Their investigations led them to an aging professor named Dr. Reynolds, a former resident of the dormitory himself. Dr. Reynolds possessed an encyclopedic knowledge of the university's past, and he regaled Carl and Claire with tales of inexplicable occurrences and unexplained phenomena that plagued the dormitory. According to Dr. Reynolds, room 213 held a sinister secret. Decades ago, a brilliant but troubled student named William Thornton had resided there. Rumor had it that Thornton had delved into the occult and attempted forbidden rituals, unknowingly unleashing a malevolent force that had haunted the dormitory ever since. The previous occupants of room 213 had suffered from unexplained disappearances, mysterious illnesses, and even mental breakdowns. It became clear to Carl and Claire that they had stumbled upon a dark and dangerous presence that thrived within the walls of the old college dormitory. Armed with this newfound knowledge, Carl and Claire made a pact to confront the malevolent force and put an end to its reign of terror. They delved deeper into occult literature, seeking ancient rituals and protective incantations that could aid them in their quest. They sought guidance from paranormal experts and researched the history of the land on which the dormitory stood. With each passing day, the tension within the dormitory grew. Strange occurrences became more frequent, and the presence of the malevolent force became palpable. But Carl and Claire remained resolute, ready to face whatever horrors awaited them in room 213. Little did they know that their determination would lead them down a path fraught with darkness and danger, where the line between the living and the dead would blur, and their own lives would hang in the balance. As Carl and Claire delved deeper into their research, they discovered an ancient text that spoke of a ritual to banish malevolent spirits. It required a sacred artifact and a specific incantation performed at the stroke of midnight on a moonless night. Gathering their courage, Carl and Claire embarked on a mission to procure the artifact. Legend had it that it was hidden deep within the university's archives, guarded by a series of tests and trials. With unwavering determination, they overcame each obstacle, finally obtaining the artifact, an ancient talisman said to possess the power to bind the malevolent force. The moonless night arrived, casting an eerie darkness over the dormitory. Carl and Claire stood outside room 213, their hearts pounding with a mixture of fear and anticipation. With trembling hands, they held the talisman and began reciting the incantation, their voices echoing through the silent halls. As the final words left their lips, the air grew still, and a profound silence enveloped the dormitory. Suddenly, the door to room 213 swung open, revealing a vortex of swirling darkness. From within the void emerged a figure, a distorted, grotesque form that emanated pure malevolence. The malevolent force unleashed its fury, lashing out at Carl and Claire with a supernatural strength. But they fought back, their spirits unyielding. They brandished the talisman, its protective energy repelling the onslaught of evil. With each step closer to the malevolent force, Carl and Claire chanted the incantation louder, their voices filled with unwavering resolve. The talisman glowed with a brilliant light, growing brighter with each passing moment. Finally, at the pinnacle of their strength, Carl and Claire thrust the talisman into the heart of the malevolent force. A blinding burst of energy erupted, engulfing the room in a radiant glow. The force screamed in agony, its power diminishing until it faded into nothingness. Silence reigned in room 213 once more. Carl and Claire stood, panting, surrounded by the aftermath of their battle. The dormitory seemed different now, lighter, as if a weight had been lifted. They had succeeded in banishing the malevolent force that had plagued the old college dormitory for decades. Word of their heroic triumph spread throughout the campus, and the old dormitory became a place of fascination rather than fear. Carl and Claire had not only freed themselves from the clutches of the malevolent force, but also ensured the safety of future students who would call the dormitory home. Their friendship, forged through their shared ordeal, grew stronger, and they became known as the brave duo who had dared to confront the horrors of room 213. Their story became a legend, inspiring others to face their fears and believe in the power of courage and unity. As years passed, Carl and Claire graduated from Crestwood University, forever marked by their harrowing experience. Though they went their separate ways, their bond remained unbreakable, a reminder of the extraordinary journey they had shared. The old college dormitory continued to stand, a silent witness to the events that had transpired within its walls. Room 213 remained a place of whispered tales and cautionary legends, a testament to the courage of two students who had stared into the face of darkness and emerged victorious.